So, welcome, guys, and welcome all to this dialogue with the grade 11 batch JEE students of DLRC. DLRC is Drive Change Learning and Resource Center, and we have a JEE program where we prepare towards the examination and also towards good level of problem solving. And to understand better about the journeys, I think it's best to hear from the horse's mouth. And here we have some of our students who were available today on the Sunday morning, this lovely Sunday morning. And we have the opportunity to dialogue with them. So the flow of today's session is as follows, is that I have some curious questions, which I would like to know from them. We always end up discussing about physics, chemistry, math whenever we kind of meet up and in their lessons or some doubts. And then after that, I would leave the floor open for others who have any questions. And that's how we kind of have thought about for the flow. It'll be nice to get an introduction first of everybody who's here. And it'd be great if we can have at least cameras on for everybody at the start of this session. And then later, whoever's talking can have their cameras on, and the rest of us can have cameras on. That's okay. So hi Advai, hello Shaashvat, and we have Rabeeh too, and then Arnav and Rupali have joined in. So Arnav, Rupali, you can also switch on your cameras. It'll be great. And so introduction, guys, just one line of introductions. Advai, Shaashvat, Rabeeh, and then Arnav and Rupali will be like, nice to hear what is the purpose of coming over for this session, so that we can also steer it in that perspective too. Yeah, Advai, go ahead.
Good morning, I'm Aditya Melinkeri and I'm an aspiring pure science student who wants to get admission in one of the good pure science colleges in India.
Hi, I'm Shaashvat and I'm a student at DLRC and I love like sciences and maths and also stuff of non-science and maths, and I'm looking to use DLRC as my next chapter for life, which is college. So yeah.
Rabeeh, bolo.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Rabeeh Ahmad, currently in 11th grade, and I'm preparing for JEE just to gain the knowledge for science and possibly do something in science and technology.
Arnav, can you just share about yourself and what is your motivation to attend this session?
Hi, this is Arnav's mom actually. My name is Deepa and he's a grade 8 student. He's studying in Orchid School, and I was curious to know about your program at DLRC about JEE, since they will be soon approaching that age where I have to hunt for, where they can go ahead and study and they get their analytical skills developed and their concepts should be rock solid. So I was curious about your this session. So hence I joined.
Lovely to have you over, Deepaji.
Thank you.
Yeah, Deepaji's have been attending a lot of sessions of DLRC.
Yeah, yeah,
nice
I have been.
her over.
Yeah.
So great. And how about we have another Arnav? No, Kunal Gawali. Kunal Gawali. Bolo, Kunal.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So my name is Kunal Gawali. I study in 9th standard in DAV school. I'm going to soon also approach the JEE NEET all the exams, so I wanted to just get familiar with the concepts.
Okay, great. So now that we all know each other, and we've got a nice, august, cute audience today. So I think we can start off from there. So yeah, I think Advai, what are your aspirations, and how does the JEE program fit into your aspirations?
I'm not an engineering inclined student. My aspirations are since a very young age to become a scientist, a physicist to be precise, in some very particular fields that I'm interested in. And for that, I need admission into excellent science colleges in India. And these colleges, a way of applying to them is through the JEE and another pure science exam, but the preparation for both is exactly the same. So the DLRC JEE program helps me prepare for both of these exams and get admission in the colleges I like so that I can become a successful physicist in the future.
Hey, Shaashwat. Great, Advai. Shaashwat, you can share your aspirations and how does the JEE program fit into your aspirations?
Yeah, so I've been doing the JEE program from the now middle of 8th grade all the way to now 11th grade. And in the 9th and 10th, 8th, 9th and 10th grade, I think my aspirations were only to strengthen my concepts of maths, physics, chemistry, and also expand my horizons, learn new concepts, challenge my mind. And yeah, that was great. And now I think my aspirations right now is to, well, in the 11th and 12th of everyone to get into a good college, and doing the JEE program helped me either if I want get into get into JEE system, like get a good rank in the JEE system, like the IITs and the NEETs and the yeah, all the other colleges that use the same system. So that's the aspiration.
Okay, okay. Shashwat, your audio is still, maybe you can try switching your video off and your audio will be better.
How about now? Is it fine now?
Yeah, it's much better now. Bolo.
Yeah. In the JEE program since the 8th grade now, middle of 8th grade when I joined DLRC. And in the 8th, 9th and 10th, my aspirations were mainly to just widen my horizons in maths, physics, chemistry, strengthen my concepts, which would help in my the general curriculum, and also challenge my mind because I found the study is not as challenging, the curriculum at least for the IGCSE, not as challenging as the JEE one. So that was the goal in 9th and 10th. And 11th and 12th, the aspiration was, I think, at least my aspirations right now is to get into a good college. I'm not very sure of what exactly I want to do there, but I know that getting into a good college would help a lot in that journey. So those are my aspirations. And the DLRC JEE program help us because they help strengthen my concepts in maths, physics, chemistry, which can help me help me get a really good shot at the JEEs, the IIT JEEs and the JEE entrance exam. Or even if I'm looking to go abroad, it'll help there because it improves my foundation a lot. That's all.
Much better audibility. Thanks, Shashwat, and lovely sharing, Advai, Shashwat, and Ravi. What about you, buddy? Like, what are your aspirations, and how does the JEE fit into those?
Yes, so my aspirations, I would say I don't have any solid aspiration, which is fully concrete, but something along the lines of science, technology, or even design, something which I like. And JEE basically allows me, to pursue science properly because it really is challenging and strengthens the concepts. And as Ashwat said, getting into a college is also very important. So yeah, JEE would allow me to get into the IITs and other good colleges. And the thing is, if you're confused what to do, gaining a lot of knowledge is very helpful. And JEE preparation at DLRC will definitely help me, gain the PCM knowledge.
That gets us to the next question, and we can start with Rabi now and go the other way. Is that so, Rabi? How is the DLRC JEE program really helping you towards this?
Yeah, so one of the things which is very different, and one of my favorite things is the number of students. Basically, because there are only like 5, 6, or maximum 10 students, it's really it feels like a conversation basically. So doubt solving, problem solving, is getting all the concepts clear. It's very easy, and there's a lot of freedom in that, and I think that's very wonderful. And apart from that, yeah.
Right. Bolo, continue, please continue.
Yes, so that's basically my.
Cool. Shaashvat, how is it fitting into how is the DLRC JE program kind of helping you in this?
So I would say that firstly that the teachers at the DLRC JE program are really good. Like Sudeepta sir is really good at explaining stuff and helping us understand. So that has helped a lot because at least the concept understanding improves significantly in the 9th and 10th grade. And then Sudeepta sir also like not only Sudeepta sir but all the teachers managed to engage the conversation and managed to engage the class, taking us from the basic level of concepts to a higher level of concepts. And in that process, we understand concepts so much to a lot of clarity, and that's what's helping us. So if you were to give the exams per se, then in the exams, having strength of concepts is not very important because you can be assured to solve the problems. So yeah.
Okay. And Advay, what are your thoughts on how the DLRC JE program is helping?
As Shaashvat said, the teachers are absolutely fabulous. Some of the best teachers I've had ever, as far as I can remember. So the concepts are explained really well and they stay with me for a long period of time. They really motivate us to solve extra problems after class and solve all of our doubts very ably and completely. Also, I feel that there is a smaller class size, so it does allow for more discussion and personal interaction. And it's like a blend between CBSE and Cambridge studies. So it will not be the rote learning, memory based, dull method of learning concepts like some may find CBSE to be. And it's not exactly, and the teaching is more of the Cambridge form, but still it prepares us equally well for the JEE program.
Right, right.
So it allows us to learn the concepts in a easy method, but with equal or more competence than any other form of learning.
Okay, okay. Interesting. Um, lovely sharing, guys. So Aditya's just joined in. Hi Aditya, जैसे बोलते हैं देर आए दुरुस्त आए, and welcome to the party. And so Aditya, um, it will be good to get an intro about what are introduce yourself and please share your aspiration and how the DLRC JE program is fitting into that aspiration.
Okay, so I'm Aditya Melinkeri and I'm a student at DLRC in 10th and I'm attending the JEE course. So basically my aspirations are something to do with the science stream, either engineering or maybe just mathematics or something like that. I'm not too sure about that, but what I'm aiming for right now is JEE. And yeah, obviously the JEE course is helping me prepare for that, but also it's helping me clear my concepts very well. Like the teaching that is present, that is the kind of teaching that there is in this course is very centered on the concept. So all of my doubts are pretty clear, and you can only answer JEE questions if you have very clear foundation and clarified concepts, basically.
Okay, thanks for that, Aditya. And I think a lot of you have answered the question of how this program is different. Now let's talk a little about the facilitators. Okay, and I think Aditya, starting with you, tell us a little about your facilitators at the DLRC JE program.
So starting with physics and maths, Sudipta sir is, I'll say, like an extremely good teacher. He has this way of explaining maths and physics concepts that make them stick in your mind for a really long time. Like there was actually a concept. I'll just take fiction for example. When he taught fiction, it fit into my mind so well that without revision for 2 months, I could have explained fiction to you in detail. So yeah, he also takes he also gives us interesting problems for homework and clarifies any doubts we have in the homework problems. And overall, it's a very how do you call it? I will say it's a very good way to learn. And for chemistry, our facilitator is it's kind of a different approach for teaching. He basically breaks down concepts into small bite-sized pieces, and then introduces us to them in every lecture. And then he takes examples and problems on that. So it's kind of a slower approach, but it's still as effective.
Cool. Rabeeh, bolo about your facilitators.
Yes, sir. So I think there's not much to say, but they're great teachers. They teach the concepts really well. And Sudipta sir is an amazing teacher. Obviously, physics and math are very difficult subjects as it is, and he really simplifies them into diagrams, and the problems that he solves are very helpful. And Shittu sir, basically, he's really friendly. It's very, the class atmosphere is very easygoing, so you understand very well in class. And yeah, that's about it.
Shaashvat, what would you like to add in?
Yeah, I'd like to say that generally the DLRC facilitators are much better than where you'll find anywhere else. And the JEE program professors are also really good. Like especially Sudipta sir, I've been studying with him for the last 3 years, three and a half years now. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a lot of understanding, and everything's been going really smoothly. And I'd also like to add on that the facilitators in DLRC, and more importantly the JEE facilitators, because the JEE discussion, have adapted much better to the online format than I've been reading from others people. Like I've read that some people say that some of the facilitators are unwilling to teach online, or are finding it very difficult to get the right setup and manage to convey the thoughts, because that's what matters the most. Because when you're in a physical, I think there is more than just speaking. You can use hand actions, and you can use demonstrations to explain stuff. But online, it's only speaking and a bit of drawing. So that's one thing that's really good, that they've adapted very well to the online system. And on that, kudos to you, Pai, and the other co-founders, because y'all have managed to find a really good facilitator cohort. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Hey, that is a good point, Shaashwat, and thanks for that, cute, I would say compliment. And we're all out there for you guys, and I make sure that I log in every session and check out the kind of interactions that are going on. And it's fun to see the kind of dialogues that you have with your facilitators. And sometimes, yes, I do have the opportunity to discuss some problems with you. And going down the line, yeah, I would like to steal some time and discuss those interesting problems with you guys too in the peer interactions. Advai, what would you like to add in, buddy, about the facilitators?
Shaashwat covered a lot of it. Again, really, I would commend you for finding such brilliant teachers. So Datta sir's method of explaining is very similar to another teacher I had in 10th standard. And in both cases, they're like some of my favorite teachers that I have ever learned under. I'd also like to add that Sudipta sir, I know for a fact, was a teacher at DLRC too. So he does teach in that Cambridge style. So one thing I forgot to mention is I'm also aspiring to get admission in good foreign colleges. So the way he teaches physics and maths isn't just from a JEE point of view, it's from a concept point of view, which will also prepare me for foreign studies and the different format of teaching. Also, the chemistry sir gives us lots and lots of practice, which really helps in strengthening our concepts. And I'll be honest, in the first beginning of the sessions, I wasn't revising as much because I was adapting to the long school schedule and the JEE class schedule. So I wasn't being able to keep up with class as much. But the second I put in little extra effort at home and revised all the concepts today, Nowadays, I often find myself after 8 hours of school when I'm tired and I log into my JEE class, time just suddenly flies by and it's at the end of class before I know it. And I've enjoyed so much that I'm full of energy again.
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad we're having this dialogue.
Also,
Yeah, yeah.
like
Bolo, bolo,
one
Aditya.
thing, I'm enjoying the teachers so much that I'm feeling really bad that Professor doesn't teach us at school anymore.
Ah, okay. So, yeah. So, JEE program is also about getting an edge because it is a competitive environment. And from that perspective, the next question would be on how does this give you an extra edge in this competitive examination? Of course, at DLRC, we believe that the competition is with yourself. You need to improve on what you were doing yesterday, and you need to be better than yesterday, and you need to look that you're better than today, tomorrow. But then, what is your take on what has been your experience of what edge does it give you? Otherwise, we can start with you.
The edge that it gives, one thing I would like to say is like it's a 1.5 class, so it gives us much more time for practice apart from sitting for like a 3 hour, 4 hour long session like other coaching classes. As I said earlier, the personal attention is great, so all of your doubts get clarified and you're not shy to ask or address any of the questions you have. The facilitators themselves interact with you on a one-on-one basis without any like need for us to approach them, and they will make sure that every student is learning the concepts and is able to answer the questions they ask in class. And if some particular student is not doing as well, they will give him an extra problem and tell him how to explain it and then ask him to explain further problems of the same sort. So the personal attention really gives you an edge over the rest.
Mm-hmm. Shashwat?
I think the edge that we get is this that for out here, like to give an example, there are lots of times we're able to solve questions and all at basic levels without having to really understand the concept. But in the DLRC JEE program, the level of clarity that you understand all the concepts, it helps us work on the much more difficult problems that you would encounter in a JEE question paper. Like I have some of the past papers and I see that the level of concepts that they ask is much higher. We must have a deeper understanding of the concepts, and also the questions are kind of intertwined. So when you're applying it in the like intertwining of different concepts, and so that also you need a much higher clarity of concepts. So that's what I think I have an edge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. How about Rabi? What edge do you think it really gives you?
Yes, sir. So as Aditya mentioned, the classes are only 1.5 hours, 1.5 hours a day, which is really helpful because we don't have to, slog like a machine for 3 or 6 hours like other institutes, uh, which is, just a lot of time to just go back and look at the notes, just practice problems. And another thing which I really, really love is the IT alumni which you invite, which really motivates us because we see what they've gone through, where they've ended up, and what things they've done. So that's really motivating to study harder and inspires me at least.
Hey, thanks for mentioning that. And yeah,
Yes, sir, it's one of
definitely.
my favorite.
Yeah. Bolo, bolo.
Yes, sir, it's really wonderful. The people who come and talk.
So yeah, it's really nice that all of you do appreciate this, and why not? And I think I have seen from close quarters how IIT JEE preparation happens. In fact, my brother kind of went through that. I saw his journey, and then realized that the best way is to connect with as many of them who have gone through that journey, including our own Avni Malviya alumni at DLRC JEE program, who is at IIT Madras, and she had a talk, and then many other people, friends that I know have come across and talk to you guys. And going down the line, we will have a lot of sessions where the the alumni come over and inspire us with their work, with their thoughts, and also get inspired by your work and your thoughts. Great. Aditya, how does this give you an extra edge?
I would say that there are I think what gives us an edge is the two specialities of this course. The first being that, like as I already mentioned, it's at least as good as, if not better than, most of the popular coaching classes out there. And the second point is the low facilitator to student ratio. So like in most places you'll have 50 people being taught by one teacher, but here you can ask your doubts, you can clarify your own concept, and it's more based on the student. So like that really helps me clarify my doubts and understand concepts better.
Whoa, cool. Oh, and now we come to the, what I would say is my top favorite question that had come up in a dialogue when we were discussing about what questions would really help us get clarity on the program and help others also decide whether what kind of program should they align with for preparing towards the JEE and also preparing towards a higher learning path beyond grade 12. And you can also think about certain examples, guys. Is that, and the question is as follows, and we'll start from Aditya and then go the other way. Is that if you were given a chance to attend one of the other popular classes for free, would you attend that? And if yes, why? If not, why? So, yeah.
I think the answer for this question would be pretty much the same as the previous question. So I think I would stay in this course because of the reasons that give us an edge. Like I told you, it's pretty much the same level of all of the other courses out there, and it also has a low student to teacher ratio. So that's yeah, it's more personal and it's better. Honestly, I feel it's better for clarifying concepts.
Rabeeh?
Yes, sir. Sir, I think I wouldn't switch, not because the classes are better than those classes, because I've never attended another coaching class to compare it to, but the time that I have been here, I really enjoy it. I get the concepts, it sticks with me, and I think that's all that matters. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wow, that's all that matters. That's a great phrase. That's a great phrase that I've picked up from today. Thanks, Rabeeh, for that. Shaashvat?
Personally, I wouldn't switch, but I would say that in certain cases, you would switch. Like, for example, the DLRC JEE program has a significant benefit in the teachers and the understanding of concepts, the low student to teacher ratio. But then again, there's a bit of a compromise, because then you won't have as big as a cohort and as big as a peer group which you can benchmark to. So it's always a compromise. Like when they have a big cohort and a big group to benchmark, they cannot have a low student teacher ratio. So while I prefer this system, I can understand why that system too is helpful. And I would also add that that DLRC not only helps you crack JEE, but also gives you a holistic education for 11 to 12.
Shaashvat will join back. Advai?
Yes. So
I think I got disconnected.
Yeah, Shaashvat, you can go ahead and complete it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Advai, yeah.
Where did I get lost, by the way?
Yeah. So you were talking about the grade 11 program.
Yeah, so in here in the grade 11, 12 program, you could also be getting a more holistic education where you'll be attending your classes, where you'll have options to do other activities and SIPs and internships and all that stuff. and not just JEE throughout the day. Whereas in those systems, you would be doing just JEE throughout the day. So then again, it also gives you more free time to focus a lot more on JEE. So it's always it's like one way or the other. So while I prefer this system, I see there is merit to those systems too. Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And in fact, there is an example that there was a student, there were two students, in fact, one in the foundation and one in the grade level program, who were in the JEE program. And then they realized that they would benefit from larger numbers. And I'm grateful, Shaashvat, you mentioned that. I think it's important for students to realize what works for them. Does a smaller cohort work for them, or would they like to be part of a bigger cohort? And it is about everything has its pros and cons, and that should be ascertained. Good point there. Advai.
So again, I would feel guilty doing it, but I would definitely take the DLRC program because there would be a certain financial point of view too, and there would be encouragement to instead invest the fees in my future education so I can go abroad or someplace. But I would choose the program for a couple of reasons. One, it helps me attend formal school properly instead of just going to a dummy school where I work like a machine for 2 years instead of actually enjoying school life in 11th and 12th. And as Shaashvat said, the DLRC program also allows us to do a lot of other extracurriculars as part of school and a different form of learning. So you get Cambridge and CBSE, both sides of the coin. So I think it gives us a more holistic view. We learn the subject in a different amount of detail than a regular person. And as for the peer interaction thing, there would be a bit of merit in a larger crowd. But for me personally, I don't see so much of a difference because I've never been that social and interacting with my peers on topics about studies, etc. So the amount I would interact there, interact here. So for me, it would be a definite 100% choice to take DLRC. Also, the shorter class times tie better into our daily schedule and allow us some free time to ourselves too later, which is very important.
Wow. Lovely thoughts, guys. And now I would leave the floor open for questions that Kunal and Deepa want to ask. Go ahead.
Pawan, may I ask?
Please.
Yeah, the one question I had was, what is the right age for the children to start? Because I have two kids, like they're twins, and they are in 8th grade currently. So what would be the right age for them to start this, and like how does it go ahead?
Yeah, Aditya, would you like to take this question? And any others who would like to take that question? Because Aditya is right now in grade 10, and I think he started off in grade 8. And Advai also, yeah, Advai, go ahead.
I would say that a lot of people do start IIT preparation in 8th grade, and that too has some merits to it. Like in class, we see that Shaashvat and Aditya may have learned some of the concepts beforehand. So, but I joined in 11th, but there's no compromise at all. So we'll teach everything equally. It's just if you join a little earlier, maybe you could use the time where he's teaching something you already know to practice greater, like to practice more while in class itself for tougher problems. But definitely, I would say that there is no disadvantage of starting in 11th at all. My parents didn't want to put me under the pressure of coaching from
right.
like 13 itself.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I would personally say that 11th would be a good time to start. But if they are very, very highly inclined and want to go that way, it's a personal choice. The quality of teaching will be same in both cases.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks.
Yeah, Aditya. I think we can get a few more responses to Aditya and then Rabeeh.
Right. So I would say that I myself joined in 8th. So I would say that if you are looking to a foundation for JEE is always important. Like it's always going to be beneficial no matter what, because if you start in 11th standard and then you're basically entering like the level between usual 10th standards and the IIT preparation in 11th standard, it's usually like it's a vast leap. Like the stuff that they teach you in schools and the level that JEE is at is kind of hard to cope up with. Like it's basically like going from middle school to high school usually.
Right.
So
There
like,
is a gap,
it's,
you mean? Yeah, there is a
yeah,
gap. Yeah.
so the foundation is basically bridging the gap between 10th standard and 11th standard.
Okay.
So I would say that it's beneficial, and for when you take it, I guess if you want to start in 8th and or you can either start in 8th or 9th. I wouldn't recommend you
Okay.
start in 10th because 1 year is usually a little less time for foundation, but 2 years is usually sufficient. It really depends on if it really depends on whether you want to do foundation along with your 10th standard, or if you think that it'd be too much and you want to get it over with early.
Sorry. Yeah, but this definitely helps with your preparation for the 10th as well, or is it totally
Learning all of these concepts in 8th and 9th is not only good for your JEE preparation, but it also clarifies like even the base level of foundation clarifies pretty much every concept that you have in 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Exactly.
So that really helps in school as well as
yes.
As well as
so yeah, the important thing is that their concepts are pretty solid. By the time they reach 10th and 11th, they shouldn't be fumbling with the basics. So that needs to be very clear. That's what my concern was.
Right. Rabeeh, what would you like to add in?
Yes. So for me, I would definitely recommend starting in 11th grade, because 8th, 9th, and 10th grade should be for enjoying school life, and just exploring a lot of things, understanding yourself, and figuring out what you like, what you don't like, and not necessarily coming to one conclusion कि मुझे यही करना है. More like these are the options. I can possibly go here. I have the talent for this thing. And for preparing for 10th using JEE, I'm not really sure about that, because I've seen a lot of my friends who do JEE foundation classes in 8th and 9th and stuff, and they still go to separate tuitions for 10th.
Okay, is
so
it?
I've seen that, because I think the syllabus should be the same, but I think 10th ke liye alag se preparation log karte hain.
Okay.
That's there. And also, if you're completely into JEE, like fully sure, which is very unlikely.
Okay.
If you're fully sure, then I think starting in 8th grade would be very beneficial, possibly worth it. If you're completely into IT, completely into engineering.
Okay. Got it.
Shaashvat, would you like to add something?
I would say that if you're really sure of doing JEE, then starting earlier is never worse than starting later. And it's a great head start in 9th and 10th, because you're much more free. Like the study pressure is less, your timings are much more convenient. You may not have as many other activities going on. You may not have lots of these other stuff. So that's why not start early? That's the point. Yeah. If your NE is already sure, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good point.
Hope that helps, Deepa. And,
yeah, definitely. Because I am totally confused, because we are not so hard into JEE and the competitive exams right now, because they're still just started 8th standard. So more of it was getting the concepts cleared now, and then they are ready with whatever they have to take ahead. But they should be prepared in case they want to go ahead and choose that. They should be ready for that. So concept wise and how early is too early, all that was the doubt. So now I'm pretty clear. Yeah, thanks.
Kunal, would you like to ask a question?
No, sir.
Okay. Great. So we can wait for a minute or two if anybody has any questions. And guys, it'll be for a closing. It'll be nice if we can get from each one of you one interesting problem that you have solved or attempted in the past few months. Each one of you can just share one, and I think it'll be nice to kind of get that out in the open too. Uh, and that'll be a nice closing to the session. So think about it and you can just share that problem.
I don't have any particular problem I can recall, but know about like a type of problems if that would do.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
What Sudipta always says is that earlier in their time when they had written JEE exams, they would ask for lots of proofs and all. And now in an MCQ format, proofs are not like eligible to be tested. But he will still give us lots and lots of proofs and ask us to try to prove identities and equations by ourselves because that's important for our concept building. So we do get a lot of proofs problems. He also gives us a lot of problems that may not necessarily come in the JEE, but will help strengthen our concepts and maybe a little harder. So finding answers in terms of 4 5 different variables, substituting different types of things. So that there were problems like this that he discussed in class, and some of them we could get, some of them we couldn't, and then he explained them to us in a way we can remember.
Oh, otherwise I thought that the cycle problem is something that you would say is your favorite problem, but that's okay. We should solve that and discuss that.
Yes. I can't remember a
That's
particular
okay.
problem. Like, yeah, but the cycle problem is very interesting.
Right. No, I'm just pulling your wheels, like pun intended. Others, like any interesting problems that you have solved and you want to just share about one question.
I would say now that you bring on the cycle problem, I like solving the cycle problem. It was quite simple, but you need to have a firm idea of the concepts to even understand and do it, because it doesn't test your numeracy or your ability to play with numbers and algebra, but it tests more about your whether you understand concepts and all. And so on that line, I also like the buoyancy problem. And from the JEE curriculum itself, I think I like APGP problems a lot, and I also like. I mean, we did those last year. Aditya would remember, and I also like the projectile motion problems. I find them a bit of fun. They're quite easy, but I find them fun.
Right, Shaashvat, for everybody's advantage, like for Arnav and Kunal, can you just explain the cycle problem?
Okay. So the cycle problem is that a cycle is traveling on a road, right? So the question is that in what direction is the road? Actually, you have to repeat this. I'm not too sure, but in what way are both the wheels interacting with the road? In what direction are they applying a force on the road? Yeah.
Friction, you mean to say, right?
Yeah. In what direction is the friction with the road? Yeah. That was the question. Yeah. Sorry, I also understand.
No problem. Yeah.
And the
So,
problem is that there is a stone in a boat, sitting in a boat. The stone is thrown out. Will the water level, or let's say you put a stone, a boat in such a tower, a small tower, a large boat in a small tower, and it has a stone in it, and you throw the stone out of the boat, then will the water level rise or will it sink? If you put in a very large water body, it is negligible. So that's why you think of it as a small water body. That is the question.
right, Rabeeh, how about from you?
Yes. So definitely the projectile motion problems are really fun to do. At first, the concept for me was quite difficult, but as time went on, I really solving those problems because it's just so fun. And also the proving the quadratic equation problems which we're doing currently is quite uh, enjoyable.
Okay, cool. So that is great, guys. And I think that was what we had planned on for right now. And thank you so much, Deepaji and Kunal, for coming over. And of course, our motivated bunch here, Advai, Rabeeh, Shaashvat, Aditya. Thank you for coming over on this Sunday morning. It was really lovely meeting up.
Yeah,
And
thanks
inspiring.
Pawan for holding this session, because I had a lot of doubts and it was good to talk to the kids, and they had all their concepts very clear, so I got all my answers, I guess. So it was quite helpful,
Sure,
definitely.
sure. And something to just add in, like Shaashwat mentioned about the smaller cohort. And what we've done is to kind of balance that out. We have signed up with a testing platform which called as Imbibe, which
Okay.
actually has a very large set of kind of students
Okay.
database. And the tests that these students will be writing right now, including the
Okay.
foundation students, they
Okay.
will be actually compared with all those students. So there are like thousands of students that have already written the test, and
Okay.
their test marks will be compared with the responses of those students, and then
Right.
they'll get a rank. Uh,
Comparing with that data. Yeah.
yes, yes. So it's a quite a good platform actually,
Okay.
and
Okay.
most of the top classes also look at that, and we
Right.
also kind of started using those, and it's useful
Yeah.
for KVPY. It's useful for many other things too. So
Okay.
that's what we're doing on that.
Right. Yeah.
Great.
This has been helpful. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm glad, and this was exactly why it was
Yeah.
held.
Because
So,
many of their peer have already started, some competitive classes and also, and
right.
but we did not put them yet,
Hmm.
since we thought it's too early. Let them,
Right.
have the school life. Anyways, it's a lockdown and they're
Right.
stuck at home as it is, and then
Yeah.
putting them into more classes will
Right.
probably not be that good at this stage.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And in DLRC, what we follow is that we say that you can come over for a demo, check it out, and then
right.
see whether that really works for you or not.
Okay.
Because we really believe that without doing a demo of a class, you don't really understand.
Yeah.
Is it useful? Is it good enough? Is it contextual?
Mm-hmm.
So at any point of time, if you would like to do a demo, just let me know. We can kind of
Okay.
go ahead with that.
Yes, sure.
Set in
Yes.
and do that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Great. Thank you so much, everybody,
Thanks.
for coming over. And have a great Sunday. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Stay happy. And bye-bye.
Thank you, Pawan. Thanks.
Okay, Advai wants to add one thing. Advai, go ahead, add.
Yeah, ma'am, I just got the feeling that like your situation was similar to what I was in. And like, I don't mean to influence your decision in any way or anything, but just a point of view. I had a friend who was going for like 5 hours a day M Prakash since 8th standard. He
Wow.
would leave at like 5 and come back at 10 at night or something. And so I think that also like influences your 10th performance, which will also be increasingly important in colleges from so on. Definitely, foundation will really help if you're 100% committed to it, but it's not imperative, and the facilitators make sure you don't lag behind.
Okay.
In case that may help in your decision process, like even we were very confused about whether to join from 8th, but
Right.
get those 2-3 years of school experience before
Okay.
investing in the program 100%.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, definitely. That helps. Yeah, that is one good point of view, because we think it from a unidimensional point, right? So more thoughts come in, so we get clearer things actually.
Excuse me, one question. How do we reach offline for any questions?
Yeah, so you can reach out to my number. I'll put my number in the chat box right now.
Okay. Yep. Sure. That will help. Thanks.
Sure. Thanks for coming over. And yeah.
Thank you, Pai. May I leave?
Yes. Bye, everybody. Have a great Sunday. Tata. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Pawan. Thank you.